I'm gonna see you guys there. Hopefully you can see me talking. I'm pretty sure you can. So today I've decided I'm going to go do the Kmart giving tree. Here in Australia, we don't have like angel tree, we have the giving tree. Do it every single year. I choose 2 kids and I pick out presents. Usually I do it with my kids, but I'm just doing it totally on my own today. I'm super excited. I literally love doing this. It feels so good to give back to people who aren't going to have things usually for Christmas. I just feel like that is like the best feeling in the entire world. It's like the best part of Christmas in my opinion, is to be able to give back to people. That's what we're gonna go do. Let's go. There are 2 ones here. There's nothing on the back, so I get to just choose. So I think we're gonna do a child boy and a child girl. Let's pick some presents. There's literally so many gifts here to choose from. And then like a stationery set. And then, okay, I've come to the most quiet aisle, so there's no one walking in the background. I'm going to show you guys what I ended up getting. So first of all, we got these like Christmas bags to put the stuff in. So for the girl, I've got this like little mini Christmas castle and these mini flowers, a colouring book, because kids always like colouring books, a Barbie, and a stationery set. So that's what I got for the girl. Show you what I got for the boy. Again, another little Christmas bag. These 2 little Legos here. This one's like an ambulance and this one is like a race car. The colouring book, a Pokemon one. We got another stationery set and then some cars. So that's what I got for the boy and that's what I got for the girl. I'm so excited. I love doing this. It is officially Christmas in my household. Is it November 10th? Yes. For me, that's festive season and I'm super excited because my friend Amy and I, which I'll tag her below because she also has a YouTube channel, we're going to be doing 12 days of Christmas for one another. So I've started to parcel up all the things and I'm going to put little ribbons on it and little dates of like that she should open it. So we're doing 12 days of Christmas. So I'm going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 12. And this has been so fun to put together. I have so many things and I'm not going to say what they are because I don't want to spoil it just in case she watches this video. Tell me why I'm so excited. I'll show you guys what it looks like when I finished it and I put it in the box because I'm going to mail it to her because it's quite big and bulky with the amount of items I'm putting in it. I am such a gift giver. One of my favorite top love languages is giving people gifts. This is just like the best thing ever and this is why I love Christmas time so much. We're going to be decorating the house soon. I'm going to be decorating all the stairs here. It's just going to be festive AF. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Think about that. It's
Good.
okay.
Yeah. Susima. What did I do?
Did you see me on it? Around or should I just do it up?
Hello, boys.
If you have to know my goal with some polka dots, grapes. Sorry.
Your basil.
Yeah.
In a little bit, but I'm sure it'll come back. It's time for a Christmas book haul and I have some really good picks for you guys. The ones I'm going to be also reading myself. I have 4 books on my list at current. Whether I will add to that or not, who knows? I'm very open to adding to my TBR of Christmas books. I have 3 physical ones and then 1 that I'm going to be getting on the Kindle, unless in the meantime of that I can find the physical copy of it. As present, I haven't seen it in any of the bookstores, so just kind of leaving that open. If I find it, I find it. If it's on Kindle only, it's on Kindle only. The first book we have is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. I love Tessa Bailey. First of all, she is hilarious and her writing is just so good, so easy to read, very digestible. Smut in it is like just chef's kiss and I can't wait to continue reading her books in the summertime. I have her books on my summer TBR list, which I will be doing a separate video on. The first one is Window Shopping. I honestly don't know what this is about. I'm kind of going into this blind. Another book that I have is by Tessa Bailey as well. This one's called Wreck the Halls. I'm pretty sure Window Shopping came out before this book, so this one's a new one she's come out with this year. Again, I honestly have no idea what this is about. I'm kind of going into this very blind, but I'm super excited about that. And the third book in the physical TBR for the Christmas haul is Forever Never by Lucy Score. And I'm kind of going into this totally blind. I do love Lucy Score's writing. Things We Never Got Over was one of my favorite books of 2023. It was such a good romance book. I'm super excited to see what this one is about. As I said, I just really like going into them blind. I think it's really fun. This one's a lot more chunky chunkier than the Tessa Bailey book, so that will be kind of interesting. But I've heard that this one is quite smutty. I've also heard that this one might be quite smutty as well. I love the covers. Are they not so Christmassy and cute? And then the final book that I have for my Christmas haul of books is 'Tis the Season for Revenge. I've heard that in this one, she gives off like Elle Woods vibes, and she basically sleeps with her like ex-boyfriend's boss. And I think there might be like an age gap romance there. So that would be interesting. And I personally love a little smut in my romance books. I actually have quite a lot of other fantasy reads and stuff that I have to read as well. Really wanted to read some like Christmassy books just to kind of get in like the festive season. And I'm sure I'll update you guys in my December reading wrap up with like how I go with these books. I really wanted to finish this vlog off strong, and I thought, you know what? Let's do the collective theme, what my spirit team are telling me that we're going to be experiencing in the year of 2024. If you don't know already, I'm a psychic medium. I'm not just a major book lover, but I also connect with spirit. I actually like to call myself more of a medium now, but a lot of people know me as a psychic medium, but I am kind of changing that title in the year of 2024 to just being a medium. So just a little heads up, I'm going to be releasing the psychic title. I just don't really feel like it feels good for me anymore. It doesn't feel aligned for me anymore. And I've really learned to trust that feeling. Something doesn't feel good for me anymore, I immediately don't want it in my life. Let's get into what the themes are going to be for the year of 2024. I will go into more of a deeper theme for this in the next few weeks on my podcast, so keep an eye out for that. For now, let's do like a little check-in so you can kind of get yourself ready for what to expect and the energy to expect in the year of 2024. I have written all of this in my notes app, so if you see me reading from the notes app, you know why. First one that I'm seeing is a lot of new beginnings for a lot of people within 2024. I do feel like that is from the end of February, so going into the month of March, which I guess in the northern hemisphere would be springtime, and in the southern hemisphere we'll be going into autumn, otherwise known as fall. In Australia we just call autumn though. I don't know anyone that personally calls it fall. So I do feel like from March onwards, those 4 months are going to be very pivotal months for a lot of us. I do feel like that the next few months of summer, I always believe that summer and even winter in the northern hemisphere should be a time of like relax, or especially like with the holidays and things going on like that. Do I think that you should set goals for going into next year? Absolutely. But try to keep those goals very open, because I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves to get things together and have everything organized before we go into next year. And I just believe that January is a month for everyone in the collective, whether you're in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. I do believe that that month is the month where we're just kind of like slowing down and not putting pressure on ourselves, and just kind of a month of reflection other than the month that you should be implementing stuff. So I would wait until mid-February before you actually start implementing stuff, and you'll probably find that it comes through pretty quickly, because that's what Spirit is telling me. Whatever we set our intention to, things are going to be transpiring. I do also feel like next year is building blocks for a lot of us, so that is like setting the intention. It also means that a lot of people are probably going to be selling and buying new houses. I do feel like the market for that is going to get a lot better in the year of 2024. Not so much for renting still. I do feel like that's a little bit longer away. I do feel like for buying and selling houses, I do feel like that's going to be a better market, especially for buying houses. I do think that's going to be a better market for next year. So if you think about buying a house in the year of 2024, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening, because I am getting a lot of solid foundations, and to me that can usually mean like housing and all of that sort of stuff. You might also find some shifts around the housing as well when it comes to like renting, things like that. I definitely feel some slight shifts in favor of people who actually do rent. I do feel like for renters, next year is definitely going to be a much easier year with that. I'm not sure entirely why that is. I'm just feeling like there might be a slight little shift. I don't feel like it's going to be like a major shift, but I definitely feel like it'll be a slight shift. And I also did write, this could mean fertility. So when I'm saying new beginnings, it feels like a very fertile year for a lot of people. So this to me feels like it's going to be the year of a lot of pregnancy. So if you're wanting to get pregnant, you'll probably find that that will happen in the year of 2024. If you're doing IVF, you'll probably find that that's successful in the year of 2024. Obviously this is different for everyone, but I'm definitely feeling like the collective is going to be expanding itself in terms of like actual physical fertility. And other means of fertility, this can mean like starting a new business. So we might find that there is a lot of people starting small businesses or doing that as like a sideline thing. This also could be the sign that if this is something you want to do, next year could be a great year for you to start implementing that and shifting into that area of your life. Then we had that there will be conflict, just as there has been the last 2 years. We will see that come up as a big theme in 2024. I do feel like all the things that are happening like the last 2 years are just the start of it. I definitely feel that there's a lot of conflict. I think we'll see new countries and things like that having some conflict coming up. I don't really want to state online who those countries are. I just just feel like I need to set a boundary around that. I'm not going to say who the countries are. Whenever I get like geography and geographic things coming up for me, it usually means that there's going to be more countries that are having some conflict and some kind of like chaotic energy going on, which is not ideal, but that is just a thing that I am sensing kind of coming up again. Then I also want to go into spirituality is changing for the better. I do feel like this has been happening since about 2019. You'll probably notice that anyone that's in this space, healers, psychic, mediums, mentors, coaches, we're all kind of shifting not only our content that we share online, broadening ourselves, so it's not just spirituality and new age spirituality that we're talking about. We're talking about spirituality as a whole, talking about spirituality being a lot more grounded and a lot more of implementing grounded practices. So you can allow yourself to be more human and allow yourselves to make mistakes. So I feel like the spirituality niche and the spirituality community have definitely put this like perfectionism around spirituality, and that just isn't the case. Spirituality should make you feel more aligned with yourself, even in the midst of making mistakes and not doing the right thing at all times, and being human, because at the end of the day, you are a human and we are spirit in a human body experiencing what it's like to be on earth for such a short amount of time. And I definitely feel like we're all kind of sensing those shifts coming up. So I definitely feel like you'll notice that even as a bigger theme. I do feel like, as I said, this has been happening the last few years. I do feel like this will continue on for the next 10 years. Spirituality will be totally different in about 10-15 years time than what it is right now, which makes me so excited. I'm so happy about that. For now, you're going to start seeing like little shifts in the content and the services and things that healers, psychics, mediums, coaches, mentors, etc., are providing to you. So my advice is to just stay really open to that. At the end of the day, also take people off pedestals. I do not think that we should ever put anyone on a pedestal, which leads me into putting celebrities on a pedestal. I feel like this has already started to happen this year, but you're going to start noticing that that is also another theme that's going to be coming up next year in particular. We're going to be holding celebrities and anyone with an influence with a lot more accountability. And this isn't me saying cancel culture. I do not believe that cancel culture should be necessarily a thing. It doesn't allow any of us to be human and make mistakes. However, I do believe cancel culture for some people is absolutely necessary, especially if they're showing like patterns of behavior that is continuing on. However, I do feel like we need to remember that at the end of the day, we're all human. We can't expect everyone to not make mistakes. You will notice that we're taking those people off the pedestals that we've been putting them on. I do not believe in the next 20 years that celebrities will necessarily be a thing anymore. I do not believe Hollywood will be a thing, at least like it is at current. I do believe that Hollywood will change, but I do believe that is a change that is going to happen over a lengthy amount of time. It's not going to happen overnight, unfortunately. I wish it would. I also believe that we're going to be unfolding a lot more secrets and a lot more hidden things that will be also coming up. I feel like that will be more towards the end of 2024 rather than the beginning of 2024. You'll probably see that more of a theme for the winter time in the southern hemisphere and the summertime in the northern hemisphere. This also takes me to this year being the year of love. So I did write the year of love, which means engagements, new relationships, and marriage for a lot of people, especially those who had to cancel or delay their weddings in the year of 2020 and 2021. I definitely feel like next year is going to be the year of a lot of new relationships, a lot of marriages, especially as I said, the ones that got cancelled. I feel like a lot of people are getting married in that year. It feels like the year of love, and what I mean by that is we're all kind of coming back to ourselves and realizing that to other people and being in community is going to be something that is going to connect us all. We're all starting to see ourselves as strong individuals, which also leads me on to the scales are balancing, which means you will see that rising just like the year of the Barbie movie. Obviously, this year is the year of the Barbie movie. We saw a huge transition and a huge change in the terms of how we view the patriarchy and how we view feminism, which I think is just so amazing. So happy to exist in a year where there has been so much change around that. I definitely feel like we're going to see more collective themes like that going into next year, which also leads me on to more collective themes around entertainment being documentary style and more thought compelling. We're going to have more entertainment and more media being a lot more thought compelling, which also means we're going to expect influencers and anyone of influence to show up differently online. This means connecting with their audience like we're on FaceTime, which is like my personal favorite style of content. I will also say that this year we've already seen themes of that kind of changing, where, you know, TikTok and video format has been more of a way of connecting with an audience rather than like just pretty pictures. Pretty pictures are definitely such a valuable part of content. Absolutely. I believe in aesthetics. I believe it's super creative. There's nothing bad with that, but I do believe that that will be a thing of the past podcast at some point. I've said multiple times that I believe IG is on its way out, or it's about to get a huge collective shift within it. However, I'm leaning more on the side of it being an app just like MySpace that will probably not really exist next few years of time. And I definitely feel like we'll see a little bit more of an uprising of that in the year of 2024. That will be really interesting to see how like media changes. Same with like movies and things like that. We're going to be seeing a lot more documentary styles where movies like Saltburn that have recently come out, where it's very arty and very thought-provoking. We're going to see a lot more of that rather than like this pop culture that we've seen in the last 20 years. So you'll definitely find that media changes a lot when it comes to that sort of stuff. It's going to be very thought-provoking and very shifting in the collective on the terms of collective themes like we've seen with the Barbie movie. When it also comes to media, I definitely feel like we're going to see a lot of different apps trying new things. I definitely feel like YouTube is going to be around for the long haul. I've said that forever, hence why I'm showing up on here now, which I'm like so excited about. I definitely feel like we're going to see a lot more long form content being a lot more popular in the next few years. I definitely feel like we have more shifts coming of that in the year of 2024. I do not feel like the year of 2024 is going to be the year of total long form content. And I'm not saying that short form content is necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like we're all starting to realize that it's kind of making our brains a little bit fried and our attention spans a lot more shorter. The fact that we're going to be more observant of that means that next year we're all going to be a lot more observant of that, which means we're all going to be a lot more intentional about the media and things like that that we consume, going to be wanting more long form content. We're all kind of in this short form content burnout. You'll find that trending sounds and all that sort of stuff doesn't really work anymore, which means also you'll probably find that music and media around music changes a lot, again in a thought-provoking way. But you'll also probably find that the year of 2025 is more when music and things like that will shift. But I do feel like it might start happening at the end of 2024, but I definitely feel like it's probably not for a few more years away before we definitely see a bit more of a massive change that is more noticeable. Which lastly leads me into cutting the bullshit. We already see themes of this in the last few years, but I definitely think that 2024 is going to be the year where we're cutting bullshit altogether. And I have wrote on here, the year of no bullshit, seeing truth and things for how they are, which means this has been also transpiring over the last few years. We will see more of a theme of that in the year 2024. And when I say cutting the bullshit, this means not just as like a collective level, but this also means in our individual lives, you're going to notice that we're all going to be a lot more cutthroat about what we do and don't want in our life, which means we're all going to be a lot more intentional. Do I feel like that's coming from our spirit team? Absolutely. But I also feel like that is spirit working as a collective, making us all see as individuals how we can cut bullshit out of our life. So you might find that at some point you're going to feel like there's a lot of releasing and a lot of purging coming up. Now, I'm not the kind of person who spills things of ascension and things like that. You will literally never hear that come out of my mouth. I do not believe that is super grounded spirituality. But what you are going to hear me say is I definitely feel like we're all rising up and we're all changing our energy in terms of a collective frequency, especially with all the things that have happened and transpired in the last 3 years, all the conflict going on in the world, and how that's also changed how we show up on social media. I definitely feel like that's triggered us all to have a lot more of an emotional response. I definitely also feel like if you do not have an emotional response, you're going to be held a lot more accountable for that in the year of 2024, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. But again, it's important to understand that we're all human at the end of the day. We all make mistakes, and if we all learn from those mistakes and change going forwards, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're finding that somebody is not changing their behavior in the year of 2024 and they're continuing on patterns that they've done forever, you will find that a lot of people of influence, celebrities, and even people in our own everyday lives will be held a lot more accountable of that. So that's what I'm feeling for the year of 2024. As I said, I actually probably went in a little bit more detail than what I thought I was going to. See me dropping a podcast episode and a few more things of content on other platforms around the year of 2024. The energy that's coming up with that and what you do to help support yourself